Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at 5 of the most haunted graveyards in the world. Starting at number 5, we have the Union Cemetery, Connecticut. This Connecticut cemetery looks like a looming dark place at first glance, and things don't get any better the closer you get. This 400-year-old cemetery is so haunted that the world famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, investigated the Union Cemetery extensively during their career, and even wrote the book Graveyard on their findings. The most prominent ghost in the area is that of a woman in white who has been spotted on camera and with the naked eye. She's been known to appear before oncoming cars, startling drivers as she hovers in between the tombstones calmly. Something more malevolent, known as red eyes, has been spotted, and this has a much more sinister vibe to this presence. And at number 4 we have the catacombs of Paris. Known as the Empire of Death, the catacombs of Paris lie 20 metres below the bustling streets of the city. The tunnels date back thousands of years to the Merovingian kings, but fully came into use in 1785 as a solution to Paris's overflowing cemeteries. It's estimated the immense catacomb holds over 6 million bodies. Visitors to the catacombs often claim that the walls are covered in skulls and other remains seem to be talking to them. There are also rumours that the local cultists use the dark energy of the catacombs to perform rituals in the more hidden parts of the tunnels. The winding maze has also become a must-see destination for explorers who have been known to get lost in the subterranean labyrinth. In 2010, a video camera was discovered deep within the catacombs. The footage appeared to show a lost man wandering aimlessly in the dark as he grew more and more desperate for escape. Like something out of a horror film, the footage was recovered, but the man never was. And moving on to number 3, we have Greyfriarskirkyard, Edinburgh, Scotland. This Scottish cemetery has been interring bodies since the 16th century, making it one of the oldest burial sites in Edinburgh. The entrance to the graveyard reads, "Non omnis moria," which translates to "Not all of me will die," a seemingly apt warning of the poltergeist that calls Greyfriarskirkyard home. This troublesome spirit lurks in the Black Mollyseum section of the Covenanters prison, an area of enclosed vaults that was used to imprison around 400 prisoners from the Covenanting Wars. Lord Advocate George Mackenzie, known as Bodie Mackenzie, oversaw brutal and inhumane treatment of prisoners, but was laid to rest just yards from the prison itself, unwittingly cursing his spirit to the land he once terrorised. The Mackenzie poltergeist is said to be a malevolent spirit that attacks visitors. These attacks were taken so seriously that the City Council closed the cemetery until the Black Hearts group started offering guided tours. There have been over 400 reported cases of people claiming some sort of strange phenomenon while in the cemetery, including cold spots, scratches, bruises and even faintings, making Greyfriarskirkyard a destination only for the bravest of sightseers. And at number 2, we have Bachelors Grove Cemetery, Illinois. Hidden just outside the urban sprawl of Chicago is one of America's most haunted cemeteries. In fact, the site has logged over 100 cases of paranormal sightings on the property. Opened in the early 19th century, its name comes from the Batchelder family who once lived in that area. The first recorded burial took place in 1844. But by the time the last body was laid to rest in 1965, the cemetery had become a popular lover's lane and the victim of vandalism. However, it soon took on a much more eerie reputation as sightings of spirits, phantom cars and ghost lights became rampant. Yet it wasn't until 1991 that the cemetery found nationwide fame, thanks in part to a photograph that became known as the Madonna of Bachelors Grove. After hearing of a haunted reputation of the cemetery, the Ghost Research Society of America decided to pay a visit. Picking up on some usual readings on their equipment, the group began to take pictures of the cemetery, and although invisible to the naked eye, an apparition appeared in one of the photographs. The figure appears to be of a woman sitting on a gravestone, perhaps in prayer. The photograph has since become one of the most compelling paranormal pictures ever taken, and cemented Bachelors Grove Place as one of the most haunted locations. And at number 1 we have Highgate Cemetery, London. London's Highgate Cemetery offers some of the finest funeral architecture in England. The cemetery was first opened in 1839 by a private company hoping to turn it into a profit, and it became one of London's most high-profile places to be buried. By the mid-20th century, the idea for a profit cemetery had lost its lustre, and Highgate was largely left abandoned, with nature reclaiming much of the land. Now you might imagine ghosts would be a typical sight here, but there's something even more frightening that is said to be lurking amongst the tombstones: a vampire. In the 1970s, trespassers were regularly slipping into Highgate Cemetery at night, and it wasn't long before rumours of Satanism and occult activities circulated. Then came sightings of a floating man in a Victorian suit and top hat gliding through the cemetery. Catching the attention of local newspapers, numerous vampire hunts began to take place, and as curious visitors flocked to the once forgotten cemetery, so did reports of people being mesmerised by a strange figure with burning red eyes. The vampire panic didn't last long, however, and interest in the nocturnal creature dissipated and it was largely forgotten. Today, sightings of the vampire still occasionally trickle in, so if you're thinking of taking a stroll around this beautiful cemetery, it's worth keeping a watchful eye out for a man with a hypnotic glaze, lest you find yourself the victim of the Highgate vampire. Well, that's the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.